If you're a runner, you definitely know the feeling. It's the weekend and you've got one big thing on your mind, the long run. Now, it is the absolute cornerstone of marathon training, but let's be honest, it's also a source of endless debate and a lot of confusion. Are you doing it right? Well, today we're going to demystify the long run, from the core principles all the way to advanced techniques.
All right, first things first. Let's tackle the biggest question every single runner faces. Should my long run be about the time I spend on my feet or the actual distance I cover? This is a huge, fundamental debate. And you know what? How you answer it can pretty much shape your entire approach to training.
So, on one side, you've got the time-based approach. The idea here is you run for a set amount of time, say 2 or 3 hours, and the distance you cover, well, it's kind of secondary. On the other side, you have the distance-based run, where you are aiming for a very specific target, like 25 or 30 kilometers. Now, neither one of these is inherently better. The right one for you really just depends on your experience and what you're trying to achieve.
So, why do we put ourselves through this every single week? I mean, really? Well, it's because the long run is where the real magic happens. It's not just about logging miles, it's about fundamentally re-engineering your body to go the distance. You're forging the physical and mental strength you're going to need on race day.
And it really boils down to two main goals. The first one is to develop what we'll call your distance sense. This is all about learning how your body and your mind react when you start pushing past your usual limits. It's about finding your own personal rhythm and figuring out how to manage your energy over the long haul.
You know, this quote from a runner named Koro just captures this idea of distance sense perfectly. He found out his personal wall was right at the 23-kilometer mark. But by hitting that wall in training, he learned how to push right through it. So the long run, it becomes your own personal laboratory for discovering your limits and then figuring out how to completely smash through them.
Okay, so the second major goal is just building raw physical endurance. And this isn't just about feeling less tired. It's about adaptation happening at a cellular level. You're literally increasing the number of mitochondria in your cells and teaching your body to get way more efficient at burning fat for fuel. A fantastic rule of thumb is that your long run should make up about 25% of your total weekly mileage.
So let's put that into practice with Koro's training. He runs about 100 kilometers a week. So if we apply that 25% rule, his target long run distance is 25 kilometers. Now, he mentioned sometimes pushing it to 30, but that 25K, that's the sweet spot for consistent adaptation without overtraining. It's a simple, super effective formula to start with. So, how does all this apply if you're just starting out on your journey? Well, for beginners, the long run is really all about building confidence and consistency. It's not about hitting these punishing targets. The real goal is to make it sustainable.
Listen, for beginners, the most important thing to do is to forget about speed. Seriously, your goal is to maintain a conversational pace. And what that means is an effort level that's so comfortable you could literally chat with a friend without gasping for air. The focus here is on time on your feet, just letting your joints and muscles adapt to the stress of running for longer.
All right, so what are some practical tips here? First, focus on time, not distance. A nice conversational jog is perfect. For a huge confidence boost, try to complete a 30-kilometer run just once during your training. Doesn't matter how slow you go. Another great strategy is to run for your goal time. So if you're aiming for a 4-hour marathon, practice being on your feet for 4 hours. Trust me, this will give you a massive psychological edge come race day. Okay, so what if you've been at this for a while and you're ready to level up? For all you intermediate runners out there, the long run could become a much more dynamic and challenging workout. But it does require an important shift in your mindset first. The author of our source material admits something pretty interesting here. He used to believe that if a long run wasn't at race pace, it was basically a waste of time. He was wrong. He's learned that the true purpose is to build a body and mind that can endure, not just run fast. And that mental shift, it's everything. So once you've embraced that idea, you can start to introduce more advanced techniques, like the build-up run. This is a fantastic way to simulate that race day fatigue and practice finishing strong when your legs are already tired. The idea is simple. You start slow, and you intentionally get faster as you go. So here's how a 30-kilometer build-up run could look. You start with a very easy 1-kilometer warm-up. Then for the next 9 kilometers, you're at a slow, comfortable pace. From kilometers 10 to 20, you start to gear up. You pick up the pace a bit. And for that final 10K, you increase the pace again, finishing strong. This trains your body to perform even when you're already feeling fatigued.
And hey, for an even bigger challenge, experienced runners can try inserting a block of their goal race pace right in the middle of their long run, say between kilometers 15 and 25. But listen, this is a very high-intensity workout. It should be used strategically, not every single week, and you always have to listen to your body.
You know, we've talked a lot about the body, but the long run's greatest challenge, and maybe its greatest reward, might actually be mental. Because the toughest miles of any marathon, they're almost always run inside your own mind.
You know how it goes, right? Especially when you're out there alone, for hours on end, the internal monologue starts. It's just inevitable. At some point deep into the run, that question just bubbles up to the surface. Why am I even doing this? The initial excitement is gone, and all that's left is the effort.
And that doubt can quickly turn into a really powerful urge. I just want to stop. Your legs feel like lead, your energy is tanked, and the comfort of your couch just feels a million miles away. This right here is the moment of truth in every long run.
But then, something kind of amazing happens. You start to negotiate with yourself. You tell yourself, I don't have to finish the whole run, I just have to make it to that next tree, or the next corner, the next mile marker. Okay, just a little further, and in that small act of perseverance, you build a mental muscle that is stronger than any physical one.
And this is the ultimate point, isn't it? The long run is a training ground for resilience. It's where you are forced to face your own doubts and your own weaknesses, and in doing so, you don't just build a body that can finish a marathon, you build the mind that can tell that body to keep going, even when it desperately wants to quit. So, you see, the long run is so much more than a workout. It's a journey of self-discovery. It reveals your limits, it tests your will, and it shows you what you're truly capable of. So the next time you head out for a long run, ask yourself this: what is this run teaching me? Thanks for tuning in.